Now we are moving to the second chapter, that is antenna arrays. So in this chapter, already in the previous class we discussed about what is the importance of antenna arrays and how the difficulties from single antenna element can be overcome by antenna arrays, and also we have discussed about different types of antenna arrays like broadside array, end fire array, collinear array and parasitic array. So all these concepts we are discussed in the last class. In this class we are discussing about how we will design two element array with equal amplitude and equal phase, equal amplitude with opposite phase and unequal amplitude with opposite phase. All the three cases, for all the three cases, what is the radiation field of a two element array? So that we are discussing in this particular chapter or particular lecture. So after completion of this lecture, students will learn how to design a two element array with different amplitudes and different phase. Now going back to the first case, the case 1, where we are taking two antenna elements which are isotropic point sources. So we know that isotropic point source, it is a ideal antenna and it radiates uniformly in all the directions. So wherever you can find all the points, that means at 360 degrees the radiation is same in all the points. That is why it is we are taking two isotropic point sources. So this is one point and this is another point. So in isotropic point sources, suppose we are taking a isotropic point source where in each direction the radiation is same. That means in all the 360 degrees the radiation is same. And in this case, in the first case, we are taking two elements, antenna element 1 and here the antenna element 2, and all the elements having equal magnitude and equal phase, equal magnitude, equal phase. So what is this equal magnitude means? Suppose if you take magnitude E is equals to that is E1 is equals to E2 is equals to E naught. So this is the magnitude at point element 1 and this is the magnitude at point element 2. So that is equal to E naught, because we are saying that both are having equal magnitude and phase. Phase also same for both the elements. So in this diagram you see there are two elements, element 1 and element 2, they are separated by a distance d, So if you are taken from the center, you are taken one point at 0. So the distance between A1 to 0 is d by 2 and 0.0 to A2 is d by 2. So this is the total distance between the two elements. So this point P is called faraway point, where we want to find out our total radiation field at this point. So this is ET. As per the definition of antenna array, the total field at a particular point P, that is infinite point P, is equals to the whatever field at one point, that means the summation of all individual points. So here the field at 1 is E1 and field at 2 is E2. These are the total summation of these two fields is your total radiation pattern. So by seeing this diagram, so we can observe that the point A2, the distance between point A2 to point P is R2, that is the radial distance between point A2 to P is R2 and point A1 to R1 is point to P is R1. So both the radial distances are actually equal. But you see, so there is a part difference between A1 and A2, A1 and A2. See, this is the additional distance, this is the additional distance, that means A1 travel, this point A1 travels additional distance than A2, additional distance than A2. So, A2 will reach this point earlier than this point, this source A1 by a part difference d cos theta, d cos theta. So, this point A2 will leads the point A1 by e power j psi by 2. So, this point A2 is leads the point A1 by e power j psi by 2, and here we see that this point A1 will lags the point A2 by e power j psi by 2. So, for these two fields we have to find our total radiation field. So, there is a part difference is there, that part difference is the part difference between the two elements is d cos theta. So, we saw the difference between point A1 and the point A1 and A2 to reach the point P is d cos theta. If you write the same part difference equation in terms of wavelength, so that is equals to d cos theta by lambda, d cos theta by lambda. So, we know that phase angle psi is equals to 2 pi into part difference, 2 pi into part difference. So, psi is equals to 2 pi into this d by d cos theta by lambda, d cos theta by lambda. So, we know that beta is equals to, that is the phase shift is equals to 2 pi by lambda, 2 pi by lambda. From this equation we are taken this 2 pi by lambda outside. So, this is equals to, that is phase shift beta. So, beta is equals to 2 pi by lambda into lambda. So, psi is equals to beta d cos theta in radians, but we know that actual psi is equals to beta d cos theta plus additional phase alpha, additional phase alpha. If alpha is equals to 0, then the array is broadside array. If alpha is equals to 180 degrees, your array is end fire array, end fire array. So, what we are doing? Just we are seeing that what is the part difference between the two elements, that is d cos theta, and we are written the d cos theta expression in terms of wavelength. So, d cos theta by lambda, and we know that path angle psi is equals to 2 pi into part difference. So, 2 pi into d cos theta by lambda we substituted here. So, from this we know that phase shift is equals to 2 pi by lambda. So, that is psi is equals to beta d cos theta plus beta d cos theta radians. But we know that psi is equals to beta d cos theta plus alpha, where alpha is equal to 0 means for broadside array that alpha value is 0, and for alpha is equal to 180 degrees, that is end fire array. So, now what we are doing is we have to find the far field distance at point P with respect to point source A1 and point source A2. So, we are saying that at point 1, so it is lags by e power j psi by 2. So, that is why we are written minus here. So, E1 is equals to E0 into. So, why it is E0? We are saying that the amplitude, equal amplitude, E1 is equal to E2 is equal to E0. So, that is why E1 is equals to the magnitude E0 into e power minus j psi by 2. So, this e power minus j psi by 2, because of the part difference between A1 and A2 is there, and A1 is lags by e power j psi by 2. That is why we are written minus symbol here. So, the far field component at P due to A2 is E2 is equals to E naught into e power j psi by 2. But we want to know the far field component at point P, total far field component at point P is equals to Et is equals to E1 plus E2, E1 plus E2. So, from this Et is equals to, we take the common E naught from these two expressions. So, E naught into e power minus j psi by 2 plus e power j psi by 2. So, from the trigonometric equations, we know that e power minus x plus e power jx by 2 is equals to cos theta, cos x. So, from this formula, we can written as your Et is equals to 2 E naught into cos psi by 2, cos psi by 2. So, we know that 2 E naught into cos psi by 2 is, we know the cos value, psi value, that is beta d cos theta by 2, beta d cos theta by 2. So, this is the total magnitude of at point P, and this is the phase term cos beta d cos theta by 2. So, what we are doing? We are just adding the two phase far field components at point P, that is Et is equals to E1 plus E2. So, E naught into e power minus j psi by 2 plus e power j psi by 2. So, we are using this trigonometric identity equation. From that, e power minus jx plus e power jx is equals to cos x. So, from this formula, we written as Et is equals to 2 into E naught into cos psi by 2, but we know that psi is equals to beta d cos theta by 2. So, this is total magnitude, and this is phase term. So, this is your equation, and from this equation we substitute the psi value. So, 2 E naught into cos beta d cos theta by 2. So, this is the total amplitude term and this is the total phase term. So, now what we are doing for this equation? So, after this we getting this equation, we have to find that in which direction we are getting the maxima of your radiation field and minima of your radiation field and the half power of the radiation fields. These three we have to find out. So, the maxima condition, when we get the maxima of your total radiation field. So, we are saying that this maxima in some particular direction. Suppose we are saying that when our cos beta d cos theta by 2 is maximum, whenever your Et is maximum, when we are getting the maximum signal at plus or minus 1. So, in this direction we can get the maxima signal. So, cos beta d cos theta by 2 is equals to, we are taking equals to plus or minus 1, and we know that beta is equals to 2 pi by lambda, that is phase shift, and d is equals to lambda by 2. So, we are just calculating this one for d is equals to lambda by 2. If you want to find out for any d values, you can just change the d values and find the maximas and minimas. So, you can find for d is equal to lambda by 2 or d is equal to lambda or d is equal to 2 lambda. You can use any value for d and you can find out the maxima and minima values. So, after substituting these two values in this expression, what will happen? So, cos of beta means 2 pi by lambda into d is d lambda by 2 into cos theta by 2 actually. So, lambda gets cancelled, 2 gets cancelled, and your total expression is cos of pi by 2 cos theta is equals to plus or minus 1. So, this is the expression for your, once you substitute the beta value and d value, then you are getting cos of pi by 2 cos theta is equal to plus or minus 1. So, take this cos term to this side, that becomes cos inverse of 1. When we are getting the cos inverse of 1? Whenever your sin, that means it is at 0 or 180 degrees or 360 degrees, like that for that values you are getting your cos inverse of is equals to 1. So, that is equals to we are taken as plus or minus n pi, where n is equals to 0, 1, 2 like that. So, your pi by 2 cos theta max, because we are finding the maximum value, that is why here we are written as theta max. Cos theta max is equals to plus or minus n pi. So, if you substitute the n value 0, 1, 2, we are substituting for only n is equal to 0 value, then this becomes 0. So, your pi by 2 cos theta max is equals to 0. From this cos theta max is equals to, so if you take the pi by 2 term right side, it is also 0. So, your theta max is equals to cos inverse of 0. So, when we are getting cos inverse of 0 at 90 degrees or at 270 degrees. So, that means you can get your radiation in this direction or in this direction. This is plus 90 or it is in minus 90 degree direction. So, this is the direction of maxima. Just what we are doing is just equating your phase term to plus or minus 1 and substitute your beta value and d value and find out the rearrange the terms and find out your theta max value in terms of degrees, that is 90 degrees or 270 degrees. So, minimum condition. So, when we are getting the minimum condition, your phase term is equals to 0, cos of beta d cos theta by 2 is equals to 0. So, substitute same, d is equals to lambda by 2 and beta is equals to 2 pi by lambda. Again what we are getting, so cos of pi by 2 cos theta minimum is equals to 0. So, from this you take the cos term to right side, then we can get pi by 2 cos theta minimum is equals to cos inverse of 0. When we are getting the cos inverse of 0, it is at the multiplication of pi by 2. So, that equal to plus or minus n 2n plus 1 into pi by 2. So, if you substitute n is equal to 0, then this equation becomes pi by 2. So, your pi by 2 cos theta minimum is equals to pi by 2 for n is equals to 0, your pi by 2 cos theta minimum is equals to, so if you get these two cancel, your theta minimum is equals to cos inverse of 1. When we are getting the cos inverse of 1 at 0 degrees or at 180 degrees. So, that is the minimum signal. So, this is your maximum direction, this is the maximum direction and this is your minima direction. So, that is 0 degrees or 180 degrees or at 90 degrees or at minus 90 degrees. So, this is the maximum signal strength direction and this is the minimum strength signal direction. Next, half power direction points. So, half power direction points, if you are taking the field, here we are taking the field components, that is why to find out the half power beam width, you have to equate this phase term cos of beta d cos theta by 2 to plus or minus 1 by 2. Suppose if you are taking the power component, then you equate to 1 by 2, but here we are taking the field components, that is why cos of beta d cos theta by 2 is equals to plus or minus 1 by root 2. So, again you substitute beta is equals to 2 pi by lambda, beta is equals to 2 pi by lambda and d is equals to lambda by 2. Again you get the expression cos of pi by 2 cos theta half power points is equals to plus or minus 1 by root 2. So, from this pi by 2 cos theta is equals to cos inverse of 1 by root 2. When we are getting the cos inverse of 1 by root 2 at 45 degrees or 135 degrees like that. So, substitute n is equals to 0. So, this equation becomes plus or minus pi by 4. So, your pi by 2 cos theta is equals to plus or minus pi by 4, your 2 and this 2 gets cancelled. So, and pi gets cancelled. So, you can get your pi by 2 cos theta is equals to plus or minus pi by 4 and after cancelling that you can get that pi by 2, that means pi by 2 gets cancelled, pi by 2 cos theta half power beam width is equals to plus or minus pi by 4. So pi gets cancelled, 2 gets cancelled, this is 1 by 2. So your theta HPPD is equals to half power points is equals to cos inverse of 1 by 2. When we are getting the cos inverse of 1 by 2, at theta is equals to 60 degrees or 120 degrees. So this is the radiation pattern of a 2 element array with equal amplitude and equal phase. So this is the direction of your maxima at 90 degrees and minus 90 degrees or 270 degrees we are getting the maxima. So this is the maxima signal, and in this direction, that is in the x direction 180 degrees or 180 degrees, you are getting the minima. This is maximum and this is minimum, and at 60 degrees and the 120 degrees you are getting the half power direction. So this is the angular difference between these 2 points is your half power beam width, half power beam width, that is 60 degrees. 120 minus 60 is 60 degrees. So this is the table for if your electrical field is equal to 0, that is minima, you can get at 0 degrees. If it is electric field is maximum, you can get at 90 degrees, and if your electrical field is half, that is 1 by root 2 for electrical field, so that is at 60 degrees or 120 degrees. So it is looking like a figure 8, the structure is looking like a figure 8, or it is downnet structure, it is looking like a downnet shape. So this is the radiation pattern of a 2 element array with equal amplitude and equal phase. So this is the radiation pattern of a omnidirectional elements for d is equal to lambda by 2 and d is equal to lambda and d is equal to lambda by 4, and additional phase shift is pi by 2. So now second condition, here we are taking a array of 2 point sources with currents equal in magnitude but opposite in phase, So the previous conditions that E1 is equals to E2 is equals to E0 is same for this antenna elements. Both antenna elements are same in amplitude, but phase is opposite phase. That's why any one of the element phases we are making with negative. So here we are considering 2 points A1 and A2, and they are separated by a distance d like previous case. So 2 elements, 1 and element, 2 element, both are separated by a distance d. This is 1 and 2, they are separated by a distance 2, and having equal in magnitude, that is E1 is equals to E2 is equals to E0, but opposite in phase. So that's why when we are finding out the total field point, what we are doing is, previous case we written Et is equals to E1 plus E2, because both are having equal amplitude and equal phase, but now we are taking any one of the signal field is minus. So that's why this minus E1 plus E2 I am taken. So this minus indicates that is out of phase with E2, out of phase with E2, or 180 degrees phase shift between the 2 element sources in phase. So your Et is equals to E0 into e power minus j psi by 2, we derived that, and this is E0 into e power j psi by 2. So we know that from the trigonometric equations, e power j psi by 2 plus minus e power minus j psi by 2 is equals to sin theta by 2. So from this equation, that is 2j, actually 2j, so Et is equals to 2j into E0 into sin psi by 2, sin psi by 2. So this j into 2 E0, this is the phase term. So this j indicates that is the something, so 2 into E0 is the phase term, and sin beta d cos theta is phase term, and 2 E0 is equals to magnitude term. So for this condition, for this antenna also, we have to find out the maxima condition. So to find out the ET maxima, so what we have to do is, we have to equate the phase term to plus or minus 1. So sin beta d cos theta by 2 is equals to plus or minus 1. Here you substitute your beta is equals to 2 pi by lambda and d is equals to lambda by 2. Then what you are getting, sin of pi by 2 cos theta is equals to plus or minus 1. So when you take the sin term to right side, RHS side, then pi by 2 cos theta is equals to cos sin inverse of 1. When we are getting the sin inverse of 1 at 90 degrees and 270 degrees. So that's why 5 by 2 cos theta is equals to plus or minus 2n plus 1 into pi by 2. So where you substitute n is equal to 1, 2, 3 like that. So suppose if you substitute n is equal to 0 here, so this becomes plus or minus pi by 2. So your pi by 2 cos theta max is equals to plus or minus pi by 2. This pi by 2 gets cancelled and you can get cos theta max is equals to plus or minus 1. From this, theta max is equals to cos inverse of plus or minus 1. When we are getting cos inverse of plus or minus 1 at 0 degrees or 180 degrees. So in this case, we are getting our maxima in theta is equal to 0 degrees and theta is equals to 180 degrees. This is the maxima direction when your both elements are having equal magnitude but opposite in phase. Now second case, we are the minima condition. So when we are getting the minima condition, your phase term is equals to 0. So sin of beta d cos theta by 2 is equal to 0. If you substitute your beta is equal to 2 pi by lambda and d is equal to lambda by 2, then you can get sin of pi by 2 cos theta is equal to 0. That means pi by 2 cos theta is equals to sin inverse of 0. When we are getting sin inverse of 0 at 0 degrees or 180 degrees. So pi by 2 cos theta is equals to plus or minus n pi, plus or minus n pi. So after that, if n is equal to 0, pi by 2 cos theta minimum is equal to, this term becomes 0. So your pi, so this term if you take to right side, that is also 0, because cos theta minimum is equals to 0. From this, theta minimum is equals to cos inverse of 0. Cos inverse of 0 is equals to, when we are getting cos inverse of 0 at 90 degrees and minus 90 degrees. So for this circuit, you are getting the radiation pattern in this direction, maxima direction, and this is your minima direction at 90 degrees or minus 90 degrees, and this is the maxima direction at 0 degrees or 180 degrees. Now again third case, that is half power point direction case. So here also we are same, we are taking the phase term is equals to plus or minus 1 by 2 and we are substituting your beta is equals to 2 pi by lambda and d is equal to lambda by 2. Again we are getting the sin pi by 2 cos theta is equal to plus or minus 1 by root 2. Sin inverse of plus or minus 1 by root 2 is equals to, when we are getting the 45 degrees or 135 degrees like that. So this equals to plus or minus 2n plus 1 into pi by 4. If you substitute n is equal to 0, then this becomes pi by 2, pi by 4. So pi gets cancelled and 2 gets cancelled, then it becomes, this becomes 1 by 2. So your theta HPPD is equals to cos inverse of 1 by 2, that is at 60 degrees and 120 degrees. So both cases half power beam width is same, but only the orientation of your maxima beam and minima beam is changed because of the phase shift. So this is the radiation pattern. So in the previous case, same pattern we are getting in the vertical direction. Now we are getting the same pattern in the horizontal direction. So this is the direction of your maxima. This is the direction of maxima at 0 degrees and 180 degrees, and we are getting our minima in the 90 degrees and minus 90 degrees and we are getting our half power beam width at 60 degrees and 120 degrees. So this is also looking like a 8 shape and downnet structure. So next case is third case. In this case, we are taken 2 point sources, both previous two cases magnitude same but phase is different. Now in this case magnitude is opposite and phase is also opposite. So in the previous case what we are taken, E1 is equals to E2 is equals to E naught, but this could not be happened in this condition because both are different magnitudes. So E1 is not equals to E2 and phase is also not equal. So because different phases are there and different amplitudes are there. So here we are taking 2 point sources which are separated by a distance d, and the currents are different in magnitude with any phase alpha, additional phase is alpha. So here we are taken one reference antenna and another one is reference antenna. Suppose what we are taken is, so this is one line. So at this point is 0 point and this is the distance between second one E2 antenna, E1 antenna. E1 antenna is we are taken at the reference point, that is why at this reference point the phase is 0. So that means E naught is equals to e power j0. Here the phase is 0 and this one E2 is having some additional phase. So here we are taken the E1 point. E1 is your ideal antenna or assumed to be reference antenna. At this reference point phase is 0 and we are also considering in the phase terms E1 is greater than E2. E1 is greater than E2 in magnitude. E1 is the reference point and in the case of magnitude E1 is greater than E2. So when alpha is equals to 0, that is the phase shift between the two elements, when alpha is equal to 0, so alpha is equal to 0 means 2 point sources with currents in equal magnitude and phase, and when alpha is equal to 0, that is the second case when both having equal magnitude and but opposite in phase. So assume the phase difference between two elements is 0 and that means it will lies in between 0 degrees and 180 degrees. So the total radiation field for this case is Et is equals to E1 plus E2 and we are assuming that the E1 is the reference antenna where the phase is 0. So your j into e power j, actually this is j psi e power 0 into psi and this is e power 1 into psi. So this becomes e power j 0 into psi means this is becomes 1. So Et is equals to E1 plus E2 into e power j psi. From this you common one in either E1 or E2, but here we are taken E1 common. So E1 we take common 1 plus E2 by E1 into e power j psi, and we are assume that E2 by E1 is equals to k, where E1 we already assumed in the first that E1 is greater than E2. So that is why the k value is always less than unity and it is lies in between 0 to 1. So 0 is, it will lies in between 0 is less than or equal to k is less than or equal to 1, where we are already assumed that the magnitude of E1 is always greater than E2 and E1 is a reference antenna. So from this what we are getting in the previous total field equation, Et is equals to E1 into 1 plus E2 by E1 is equals to k into e power j psi. So we elaborate this one. So then we can, what we are getting is Et is equals to E1 into 1 plus k into e power j psi is equals to cos psi plus j sin psi, So, from this for this total field expression, we are getting the magnitude term and the phase term. So, total magnitude is equals to modulus of Et is equals to modulus of this entire term. So, modulus of E1 into 1 plus k into cos psi plus j sin psi. So, your total magnitude of your field is equals to E1 into, we are taken this one 1 plus k cos psi whole square plus k into sin psi whole square, and the phase angle is equals to always tan inverse of b by a. So, that is k into sin psi by 1 plus k sin psi. So, this is the phase term and this is the magnitude term. Thank you.